Good morning. Welcome to Exxon Live. And before we get started, I just want to tell all the people in Florida that are dealing with the hurricane, we're praying for you. I hope everything turns out okay. And if hopefully you're in a safe place where you can protect yourself and your family. And for all those of you in hospitals, please take care of yourself. We have a friend in Panama City having a baby right now. So hopefully the power doesn't go out and they get to keep going through that process and everything's good.
Well, the baby's coming with powers on and off.
Baby's coming.
Doesn't matter.
I just hope that the hospital's full up for the birth of the kid.
Right.
Today, we're going to share some thoughts from Lolly Daskal. We're going to give our opinion on her five ways to improve your leadership effectiveness. I think all of these ideas are exceptional ideas for anyone that leads anybody anywhere. The question is, do you want to be a leader worth following?
Yeah, I mean, and that's always the question, right? I mean, it's, and what you could really say is, do you want to put the work in to be a leader worth following, right? I mean, because I think everybody would say, well, yeah, I want to be a leader. Do we have volume?
We got to do work.
Maybe. We'll see how the day goes.
Damn.
We do have volume, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I have a microphone.
I think it works. I mean, let's see. Let's go. Let's see.
It always worries me a little bit.
There's green dots.
Oh,
we have
thank
volume,
good Lord. Okay. We had problems last week. I couldn't find my microphone.
We had a great show going. And
we were on
fire.
fire.
It was amazing.
But yeah, are you willing to put in the work? You got to put in the work if you want to be a good leader. I think everybody wants the ideal of being a leader because they think that comes with all this stuff that's good. You know, the truth is being a good leader is a lot of hard work.
It is. And the first step of being a leader is foster a positive culture in your company. And I'm just going to tell you Dave Evans' opinion. It differs from a lot of people. If you have somebody that's not positive in your company and is a negative and is a detractor for your team, let them go someplace else.
Yeah, let them go do that somewhere else.
Because it's a cancer and you can't fix it. It's gonna hurt your organization. So negative Nancy, negative Neil.
Yeah.
You know, get those folks out of your organization and foster a team that's positive, focused on positive outcomes and winning.
Yeah, and this overall culture is about good attitudes. That's where it all begins, right? But good attitudes are usually a reflection of leadership. You know, so usually, I'm not saying there's not exceptions to that. There are, but if you have an organization that overall morale is low, just attitudes are struggling, usually go look at the leaders or the different leaders at the different levels within that organization to find the root cause of the problem. So as leaders, we got to make sure that we're creating, not just demanding good attitudes, but we're creating an environment to where good attitudes are a natural byproduct of that culture.
I'm going to make it simple. Said this my whole career in my previous life. Attitude reflects leadership.
Yep.
You show me an organization that's struggling, I'll show you a leader that's struggling.
Yep.
You show me an organization that's winning, I will show you a leader that is exceptional at taking care of his team and moving them forward.
Yep.
The next thing, encourage personal and professional growth.
Yeah. I mean, bottom line, that encompasses a lot of different things, right? Obviously, professional and personal development, that can come in the way of different classes you can have your employees do, trainings you make available to them, resources made available to them. But I think also it's other things like goal setting. Are you doing goal setting with your employees? Are you creating a culture where that's important? And not just business goals, but personal and business goals. Dave and I have talked about this numerous times. We think it's impossible to separate the two because your world's so intertwined in today's life. So make sure you're doing goal setting. Make sure you're having great performance reviews, encouraging open communication, meaning talking about ways they can move up within the organization. If you want to do more, this is what you need to do. If you want to have more, this is what you need to do. You know, so have those open communications, those open conversations, and really create a culture to where people feel like they have a clear path and they understand what they need to do to continue to move up in the organization.
Give them the tools so they can leave and go any place they want to. Give them an environment they don't want to leave and they're going to stay there forever and come back.
Yep.
The next one, and Phil already touched on it, communication. You have to communicate clearly with no secrets. You know, to be unclear is to be unkind.
Well, I think I'm getting ready to sneeze. Oh. There it was.
Gesundheit.
So, thank you. So, I think when it comes to communication, you got to understand it begins with you being, we call it stripping down naked, right? Being really transparent. Being transparent. Now, don't overshare.
Don't take your clothes off.
No, please don't.
Please.
Don't overshare. But, you don't want to stand up on a Tuesday if you have maybe a credit facility problem or a cash flow problem and say, well, don't know we're going to make payroll this week. I mean, I'm not suggesting that, right? What I am suggesting.
You can do that once.
Yeah, you can do that once. Use some common sense But be transparent. If there's struggles in the organization, don't run from them. Don't hide from them. Don't stick your head in the sand and act like they're not there. Because your great ideas are going to come from within. And that all goes back to culture, Dave.
It does.
If you create this culture to where everybody's sharing and bringing ideas and solutions to challenges, man, it's going to work. But you got to communicate openly, honestly, be transparent all the time with everybody in the organization. Cast that vision, communicate that vision to your employees. You'll have a great organization.
That's fact. Next one from Lolly is practice empathy.
Oh, boy.
Stay humble, be empathetic, be caring, be kind to your team. Give them a place where they can share and they can help the company grow.
Yeah, empathy is a good thing to have in life, right? I think people sometimes confuse empathy with being passive or weak, and that's not the case at all.
Nope.
You can be empathetic to somebody's situation and still have expectations, and you need to do those things, right? We've had it seems like over the last month and a half, we've had to show a lot of empathy.
Yeah.
With a lot of different clients and within organizations, and a variety of topics, some much more serious and intense than others, but you always got to have empathy to somebody, because remember, the way you see things doesn't mean that's the way everybody else sees it, and doesn't make them wrong, just means they see it through a different lens. I always use the example of my wife's a retired school teacher, but for years she'd come home and we'd talk about these different kiddos and just, this kid's doing great, man, what a great kid. And then somebody would say, I just don't understand why kids just can't be, they always seem to be history, Dave. Yeah. So history doesn't change. Why can't kids learn history? And my wife said this years ago. So, well, if you're a child going home and you don't know where you're going to eat, where you're going to sleep, you don't have the basic needs of life covered.
Not worried about school.
You're not really worried about learning Oklahoma history, right? I mean, you're more worried about survival. So everybody's lens is different. You got to be empathetic to that. You got to understand that sometimes you may have to talk through a subject in more detail than you want to. But boy, really have sincere empathy. It'll go a long ways.
It's a fact. The last one here by Lolly Daskal that I think is very prudent is hire a coach. Go to a mastermind group. Get around people that you can share ideas with and share your feelings and what's going on in your organization so you can get the help you need. It's lonely on the top, folks. You have nobody to sound off to. You have challenges. You don't want to let those challenges roll into your organization. So make sure you have a professional that can walk you through those challenges and wins in your organization and help you become a better leader.
Yeah, we talk about this a lot. I mean, who does the CEO talk to about their problems, concerns? Nobody. Most people that are owning companies or they're leading organizations, I know this has been true for me for a lot. I mean, especially through the growth stages of our companies, I don't go home and download on my family all my challenges and concerns. Because I don't want, and I'd always say, I'm worrying enough about this stuff. Why do I want to make them worry, right? I'll just take care of it. You got to have that outlet. We provide executive coaching for a lot of business owners, and I can promise you, the stuff they talk to us about, many times you walk out going, how the hell have they not talked about this before, right? Because it's just such a big deal. But make sure you seek a coach that fits you, and you got to connect with them. It's got to be somebody that you feel like you can really connect with on a personal level. But find that person, and then when you're in those situations, be open. Don't go in there guarded. You hired a coach to help you, not to tell you how great you are at everything, right? So, and there'll be some of that, obviously, but you want them to help you raise the bar in all areas for yourself personally, which then will translate in to a better experience for your employees, your customers, and everybody in the workplace.
So my last thought on this is there's only two ways. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. There is no staying stagnant. The world changes too fast. So my challenge question for you is, what are you going to do in the next week to get better as a leader for your team? Yeah.
I mean, and that's something we should be asking ourselves daily. I bought I don't know if you noticed my new little daily thing.
Yeah, a little daily planner with a little checkbox on it.
So what it does, though, I use it as kind of like a daily task list, but it's got some cool categories. Some of the first two categories is What can you do today to be positive? What can you do today to have a positive impact on other people's lives? I think we got to look at things through that lens. How can we help other people in our daily actions, whatever that may be? It could be personal, it could be business, but go out into the world wanting to make somebody's day better. It'll change your day. It'll change somebody else's day. You won't even realize it did, but you're going to have a real impact on people's lives every day if you have that mindset.
It's a fact.
Okay.
So with that, be a better leader. We'll see you guys next week. Enjoy the Labor Day holiday. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. Do all the right things.
That's right.
With that, Dave and Phil with X and Live, we are out of here.